All right. So I think we'll start now. And yeah, let other people join when they can. All right. So, welcome back again. If you're here for the first time, I do lives every Thursday. And just last Thursday, I started a new series. It's called the Messy Middle series. The messy middle I'm talking about is of editing the manuscript of my upcoming book. So those of you who don't know, I'm writing a book. It's called Color Coded: Finding Ourselves and Our Stories. And the main themes of that book are identity, creativity, and representation. And it's for anyone who has been told that they don't belong, or they're not enough, or they don't measure up, and those who are ready to tear up the scripts that have been handed to them and they don't feel that it's made for them. So it's for anyone who feels like that. And I think if you missed last week, hi Fang, thanks for joining. I was just talking about the Messy Middle series that I started last week, and it's all about the messy middle of editing my manuscript for my upcoming book, which is on identity, creativity, and representation. And it's for anyone who feels that they're not enough, they don't belong, or they've been, they're ready to tear up the scripts that they don't feel is, written for them or cut out for them. And last week, if you weren't here, I actually shared the why of finally getting back to editing the manuscript after 2 months. So I finished the manuscript for this book, like the manuscript dump, not like the manuscript, but the manuscript dump of this book, I think, in 3 months, Feb, March, and April. And then after that, I just didn't want to open it. And then in the last live, I just spoke about why I, decided to get back to the editing and, get it out in the world. So that was last week. And today we're going to talk about my beta readers. Okay. So I asked, like, when I got back to editing my manuscript this August, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ham this month, and I'm going to try and, get it as ready as I can, because the publishing part is going to be another whole big dance after that. So I asked AI to plan my editing and book release schedule. And, so because who doesn't like a good schedule, right? So I love timetables, and now I can ask AI to actually make a timetable for me. So the first part was definitely get the editing in, yeah, get your editing done. And the second step that was mentioned was find 3 to 5 beta readers for editing your manuscript or reading your manuscript and, giving you feedback on what they think of it. And today we're going to talk about that experience. We're going to be talking about that process and how it went, who I met, how it was, and all of that. Okay. So I think in the month of Jan this year, I decided to go paid on Substack. And I decided that one of the perks for whoever becomes a paid subscriber would be that they would be the beta readers for my upcoming book. So this is what one of the perks that I was giving for my paid subscribers on Substack. And I think the response was kind of lukewarm. Like, it was quick, but it was lukewarm. So I had 2 people become paid subscribers. And I kind of felt that maybe they wanted to support me, but I didn't really know how much they associated themselves with the actual book or the theme of the book. And it hadn't taken as, a proper shape as it is now. So probably it was maybe a bit of lack of clarity and maybe a lack of, I don't know, association with the themes and stuff. I don't know. And then I was like, you know what? If I want to release the book this year, I need to channelize all the energy, all the outcome, all the creative outcome towards this book. So I was like, okay, I'm going to, write articles on similar themes. So, I can already build like a momentum for the book. And I wrote articles on identity, creativity, and representation. So the response again was okay. And this is on Substack, which is a platform meant for writing and reading. So I don't know. I was kind of feeling that. Ugh. So identity and representation didn't really get the kind of response I was hoping. But creativity, for of course, for the right reasons, did get a lot of buzz. It led to my illustrated journaling workshops and all of that. That's a separate story for another day. But I was kind of thinking that, okay, you know what? Maybe this book is my personal experience. Probably nobody relates to it, or maybe it's too personal, or maybe if even if they relate to it, maybe they don't want to come out and talk about it. Maybe it's an uncomfortable topic. Maybe it's not very palatable. So these were all the thoughts that I had about my book when I had put it out for beta reading for my paid subscribers in Jan. And I think that was also one of the reasons why I was thinking that, you know what, I'll do all this hard work and it's going to go for nothing. It could be like the book that didn't sell. So it just went a very slippery slope from there. And this was Jan. This was Jan of 2025. Then I think cut to August this month. I was like, you know what? I can't let that big fat manuscript just be sitting there in my Google Drive, right? Like I owe it to myself to at least give it a shot, see how it goes, and see it through the process. So someone else joined. Oh, hi, Arinath. Thank you so much for joining. We're talking about the messy middle of editing my manuscript. And today we're going to be talking all about the beta readers. So, and how that process was. So I was talking about when I had first put out the beta reading for my book and what was the response and then what changed in August. So in August, I was like, you know what? I can't do this to my manuscript. I can't do this to my story. I can't do this to all the work that I've put in writing that manuscript. I owe it to actually put it out in the world. So I kind of presumed that, getting beta readers would take a long time, right? Like it will take some months. Maybe I still wouldn't find the right people and all of that because of how it had gone in Jan. And Jan, I had released it on Substack, and I didn't really find the response that I thought I would get. And in August, I think I was like, you know what the heck? What do I have to lose? So I just made a poster. It was like a hand scribbled poster. I literally wrote the title of the book and I said it's on themes of identity, creativity, and representation. It's kind of a memoir. And if this speaks to you, DM me. And I just posted that poster in some WhatsApp groups, Substack, of course, and I think also on Instagram, I think. And I just posted it and I just left the phone and I went. I went to make some tea or something. And within five or 6 minutes, I kid you not, 5 or 6 minutes, I come back and my phone is full of notifications, full of notifications. And I'm like, what is this spam? And I scrolled the notifications and you will not believe I had 15 people message me within a span of 10 minutes that they were interested in my book, in becoming the beta reader for my book. And I was like, am I reading this right? Am I hallucinating? Was that too strong a tea that I was making there? Like, what exactly is happening? The math is not mathing because I think in Jan, when I had put it out in Substack, the response was pretty lukewarm and all of that. So I was kind of convinced that this book has got no market or this book has got no audience. And then cut to August, there were like 15 people who have reached out to me to be the beta readers. They have sent me messages like, wow, this sounds like me. I want to read this. Or I want to be part of this journey. Or someone said that, you know what, I don't want to just read chapters. I want to read the whole manuscript. Hi, Astrid. Thanks for joining. We're getting into the juicy details of my beta readers journey. So yeah, thanks for joining in, Astrid. Yeah, so I was talking about how my phone was popping with like 15 odd people suddenly interested in being beta readers. And I'm like, okay, this hi. So I was like wondering, like, I just wanted 3 to 5 beta readers. And here I have a list of 15 people eager and ready to be the beta reader for my book. So I'm like, okay, now I have a fresh set of problems, like I have a good problem. And I always, how do I say, like when this incident happened, it was definitely a reaffirmation of the very common saying, ask and you shall receive. So I did ask and I received in abundance. But I would also like to add that how you ask also matters so much Because if I think of Jan, the way I asked was very transactional, right? Like you are a paid subscriber, so you get to be a beta reader. So it was like, you know, take this, take that kind of thing, like give it from one hand, take it from one hand sort of a thing. Very transactional. It was a perk. And I think my approach in August was more like, this is something that matters a lot to me. These are the themes I'm working on, and it's an important story for me. And if this speaks to you, I invite you to be my beta reader. So there's a difference in that. There's a difference. There is more vulnerability, there's more honesty, and there is more, how do I say, relatability to it. But there's also that window of choice. Like, I'm inviting you, and you can choose to come or not come depending on how it speaks to you. So I think that made the difference for reaching it to the exact people that would relate to this whole experience. And when you put something out in public and people can sense it beyond some kind of transactional relationship, I think you really reach out to the right kind of people that you have been looking for. And I think this experience of finding these 15 people, I will never forget as an example of this particular fact. So now I have a fresh buffet of problems to sort. I had to sieve 15 readers and bring it down to a number, because 15 is a little too much, because you can't really have too many beta readers, because that's a lot of opinions, and that's a lot of feedback to deal with. It's not easy to even manage so many beta readers. So I was like, okay, now how do I curate this list? Because honestly, it's like, even though my book stems from racism, it also is about labels. It's about erasure. It's about feeling invisible. And when I was sharing these things with my beta readers, they could feel the similarity in their struggle, in their struggles and my struggle, and how it reflects in their stories as well. And they were like, you know what? They were not just like someone who's like, okay, we will read it for you. They were like, we need to read this. Like, I got that kind of energy from them. So I think I really felt that I found my people, I found my tribe. And now we'll come to the part on how I curated this list. Because the thing is, a manuscript is something very personal. And this is not like a regular self-help book, which can be like as generic. It's personal, it's a memoir, it's got elements of self-help in it. So I had to be very selective about who I share the manuscript with, because in the end, it's not confetti that I can just spread around. It's something very personal. It has to be built on trust. But how was I going to do that with 15 eager people and actually telling them no in the politest way? So I thought of a couple of parameters that really mattered to me on this journey. I asked them the why of becoming the beta reader. So that was my first question to them. Ki, would you be able to share your why of becoming the beta reader for this particular book? And I was looking for an openness, a vulnerability to share their experience as well. So I was looking for that. That was one. Two was, I wanted some kind of lived experience. I wanted them to have some sort of a similarity in the kind of experiences I've had, like leaving your home or leaving where you were born and making a life in a foreign land. I wanted people who had that kind of experience, because I think if you have similar experience, it's more relatable. We can exchange notes. Your feedback has some kind of basis from where you're coming from. So that also was very important. So that was the second parameter. The third one, I think I was also looking for the quality of their response, because if they can give me a quality response which has, it's in depth, it's expressive, that gives me a prelude of the quality of their feedback that I can expect from them. So that was the third parameter. And the fourth one was definitely, what's the vibe I got from that person? Like, is it like, sometimes you even if you don't know a person, your gut kind of tells you, oh, this person is trustworthy. So yeah, I did go with my gut as well. So these were like four parameters that I was kind of thinking on how I was choosing my beta readers. Now, I had a list of 15 and I brought it down to 10. And I would love to read and tell you about each of my beta readers. Okay. So we're going to start with Astrid. I hope she's still on the live. Yeah, she's still there, I guess. So the first beta reader I have is Astrid. She's the first one who responded, and she wrote, "Hi guys, I'm Astrid. I joined because I've always loved what Urmila does, and it feels right to hop on and be part of her next journey." I think that Astrid is someone I relate to a lot. She has a very adventurous spirit. She is a surfer herself, and she's on a journey, not only in life, but in what she's doing with her life. She's very creative. She's also an artist. She's also a writer. She also plays an instrument. She's into self help. So I was really, really happy to have Astrid in one of my beta readers. And she also has a beautiful way of showing up for people. And I was so grateful that I'm one of those people she decided to show up for. So thanks, Astrid. It means so much that you said yes to the process. And I really resonated with your why as well. The second person is also from Substack, is Isha. So Isha is you're most welcome, Astrid. The feeling is mutual. The second person who said yes and shared their why was Isha. She's also a Substacker. She is in Amsterdam. I think we have a bit of similarity there. She's also worked in tech. She's still working in tech though, and I used to work in tech. She likes sketching. She lives in Amsterdam, a place I absolutely love because I was there for an urban sketching symposium, and I still have really good memories of Amsterdam. So, and she had joined my illustrated journaling workshop as well. So I'd met her through that as well before. So she wrote, "Hi everyone, nice to meet you. It's Isha. I joined because I wanted to support Urmila and I feel we can relate on certain things, especially the aspect of living abroad. Also, the title itself seems very interesting, finding ourselves and our stories. This is exactly what I feel I'm in the middle of, finding myself while living abroad and figuring out what my story is going to look like." I mean, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Like someone who is, it's almost like she's living a parallel life with me, but in a different geography. So I know that where she's coming from or her feedback is going to resonate so much with what I'm doing or feeling. So she knows exactly because the origin is the same and now we're in a foreign country. Also, she has a beautiful voice. I mean, just putting it out there. Then another reader. So I've taken all their consent to share their whys here. So the other reader, she mentioned that she prefers to be anonymous. So I'm just going to call her another reader. She's When she answered her why, she said the subject and the format sounded very compelling to me as a third culture kid and a mother of a third culture kid. And it gives me, and she's looking forward to exploring this draft and the organic way in which you have expressed your journey and deep resonance with the search. For identity. And I think her daughter is 15 years old, as far as I remember. And she said that, yeah, we will love, like she and her daughter both would love to be part of this beta reading journey. So I think that's beautiful. I would get a perspective of different generations, and definitely they also have the whole commonality of searching their identities. So it's going to be very interesting to read their feedback as well. Then we have another Substacker, Janki. So Janki is also someone. Okay, I'm going to read her message first. So she said, "I signed up for a beta reading for the beta reading because having read some creative nonfictions in the past, like The Artist Way and also The Creative Act, I'm really curious to learn what Urmila has put together, bringing her experiences across industries, professions, and life." So Janki is someone who had joined. She'd also joined I think, one of my lives, and we kind of connected very well on the topic of consistency. So that was a live about consistency, I think, 2 weeks back, I think. And I was talking about rituals over routines. And I think Janki is following Ayurveda, and she's also into the slow life and slowing down in life and all of that. So she really connected with that part. And it was nice to have someone with that school of thinking also come in, because I think we'll have some overlaps there. And fun fact, mythologically, Janki and Urmila, these are historical names and they're sisters. So we kind of laughed about that as well. So I've been calling her sis ever since. So yeah, so I mean, I was so glad that she'll also be part of this journey. So it'll be interesting to see what her feedback is going to be like. Then my next beta reader is Amrita, and she has coined an interesting word for herself. I'm sure I'm going to be butchering it because it's not an actual word. She said that I call myself a curioser, like a concierge. She said, like, Janki, what happened? Why are you crying? Oh, is that happy tears? I hope it's happy tears. Oh, hi. Thanks for tuning. I missed that you tuned in. Okay, so yeah, so I was talking about Amrita. She said that, this is a word I crafted to define my eternally curious self. And she's an avid reader and storyteller herself. I like to extend support to people like me whenever I can. And the theme of Urmila's book is something one can relate to, despite having unique circumstances and experiences. I believe identity and purpose need not be grand, but it's just be truly theirs. And it's what makes a difference. And looking forward to learning a thing or two while I can contribute something. So I think, again, she also has similar experiences moving from India to Germany and exploring. And I think she's traveled, being away from home basically. So when you're away from your home, you have all these questions, identity, representation, all these things automatically come in. So I think it'll be very interesting to also see what she thinks of the manuscript, because I think she'll also have some experiences similar to mine. Then we have another Substacker, Geetika. So Geetika said, I'm here because I'm drawn to Urmila's work on Substack the minute I saw it. It's warm, inviting, vibrant, and beautiful. Thank you so much. I've been living abroad since I was a teenager, and it's been interesting straddling cultures. I also love creative nonfiction, and I'm so excited and curious to see what Urmila has written. My admiration has grown for Urmila, and I would love to support her in any way I can. That's so kind of you to say that, Geetika. Okay, fun fact. I love Geetika's dimples. Like she'd send, wait, I'd asked my beta readers to send me a picture of them because I'm up to something. I'll tell that later. So she has a beautiful, she's got the most gorgeous to die for dimples. And other than that, she's also into Ayurveda and a lot of recipes and, mindful cooking. Hi, Ruth. Thanks for joining. You're a wee bit late, but I hope you can catch up. So, so I was talking about Geetika. So Geetika is also someone I met on Substack. We connected so well. And I think her vast experience of, being out away from home since she was a teenager, I think would be beautiful to explore what she sees, like what's the kind of lens she will see my manuscript through. So I'm very excited to have her as well on board. Then I have another. Hi, Dean. Thanks for joining so much, Dean. We're talking. Actually, I spoke a lot about how my beta reader process went and how I got my beta readers. Now I'm reading the messages from my beta readers when they shared their why and why I chose to go with them as my beta readers. So right now we're talking about Shobha. She's also on Substack. She is an author and a book coach. And she wrote, Love Urmila's creative and sassy style. Hope to see her style reflected in her book. So I think, hi Dean, hi. So I think with Shobha, she's also part of my illustrated journaling workshop, and that's where I met her first. So she's a little introverted, but she's very experienced. So I really saw her blooming like a beautiful flower, like from being shy about sharing her sketches to opening up with the whole group by the end of the session, and she's still continuing to do her practice really well. So I've seen the journey of Shobha, and it's very useful and very meaningful to have her on this journey as well, because she is an author herself. She's a book coach, and she really has some hands-on tips to share with me, because maybe she doesn't express a lot, probably on WhatsApp or something. But she had a call with me immediately that same evening, and she was telling me that, what, when you're sharing your manuscript with the beta readers, make sure it's in the PDF format, make sure you have a watermark, make sure you go with the people you trust, make sure you have a good editor, and so many small nitty-gritties of the process. Like the book writing process is not for the faint-hearted, honestly. I mean, at least not for me. My heart is too faint and dainty for it, because writing the manuscript is one thing, but then editing it, finding, your beta readers, finding a publisher, the whole journey is I don't know. I just hope it's this year for me. So having someone who is experienced and who can give you such tips and tricks on the way is so helpful. And I think given her experience, I really love that she's agreed to be on this journey with me. And I'm excited to see what feedback she comes up with. Then I have Sue. I hope she's still here, Sue. So Sue has been traveling, and yeah, she's still there. I hope so. Okay, so Sue said, I'm Sue. I love creativity and the warmth and the from the heart writing that Urmila offers. She's mixed race into everything, third culture here, moved to Hong Kong from Japan, and has been away from her home most of her life. I love how this project of Urmila sounds and would be happy to participate and support this. Also, you're there. Okay, so okay, I was really being very picky with my beta readers because one, I had exceeded my numbers, and two, I really wanted people whom I trusted. Now, here's where the gut trust came with Sue because I haven't met Sue. This is our first interaction, actually. Like, all this beta reading conversation, that was our first interaction. But there was something in the way she responded. She said that I'm traveling. When I come back, let's get done with it or something. She said something like that, like, yeah, let's get this book done or something. And she had a very cheerleader sort of energy, which I really like because I am that sort of person for other people. So, for a change, someone doing that for me with the same kind of enthusiasm, I really like that about Sue. And I think I was like, you know what? I really like her cheerleader energy. And I haven't met her or spoken to her or whatever, but whatever interactions we've had, my gut was telling that, you know what, like she seems to be the right person for this beta reader cohort that I'm having. So yeah, I mean, like her multicultural background and all of that definitely is going to resonate with the story. But I think her energy and the way she, interacts, I think that also really caught on with me. And yeah, I'm really excited to have you on my beta reader list. And thank you so much for saying yes. Then, we have Ral. She's also on Substack. I don't know if she's here today. She was supposed to join though. Anywho, so Ral is on Substack, and some of you may also know her because she runs a publication called Planet Ral. And she wrote, "Hi, I'm Ral, and I'm here because Urmila mentioned culture and creative nonfiction. I love anything real." Yeah, I know. Look at her message even now. No other way to do it. Live life fully. Let's do it, cutie. The feeling is so mutual. Actually, I call all my beta readers cuties. So, yes, cuties for the win. I'm so excited to meet you, whenever that is. So yeah, I was talking about Ral, and Ral also runs a publication on Substack. It's called Planet Ral. And she said, above all, I love a friend who knows how to communicate stylishly and have fun in the process. Urmila is amazing, and I trust this will be all shades of glorious. Also, I'm African. So with Ral, I think again, I know her through Substack, and she runs this publication called Planet Ral, where she's already featuring other writers and artists and creatives as a part of her publication. She's doing a lot of curation. I think she's really, she's a very hearty person. Like she will give you, give her all. She'll be there for you. She'll express wholesome. I think we also connected in one of my lives because I was talking about how we always present a very curated side of ourselves online, and we will only say it in a particular way, be happy in a particular way, just very curated. And I think Ral is very real. I think so that's how we also connected. Like she's like, we also express with our heart and not just with our brain thinking, oh, will the algorithm like this or all of that stuff. So we kind of connected there as well. So, and I also, because she has her own publication, I knew that, I could trust her eye and taste for good writing. And I think her feedback would also be very interesting to have. So basically, these are my beta readers, and I'm so grateful that they said yes. But then I want to tell you something. that oftentimes when we put something that we care so much about out there in the world, and you don't get the kind of response that you are wishing for or you're hoping for, please don't think that it's shit. Okay, because honestly, from my experience, what I would say is sometimes you're not reaching the right people, and that's exactly what I have. What would have happened with my case? Finding beta readers. Maybe you're not reaching the right people. That could be one reason, and another reason. To also tweak your thinking a little bit is to change the way you're asking for something, because sometimes it's not what you ask, it's also how you ask. So I think changing and tweaking and having a think about that also always, I think, works for the best. And yeah, whatever that is, that little project you're thinking of, or something that's always at the back of your mind, that I wish I did wrote my own book, or you want to open your own bakery, whatever is that your own project thing, I think, please go for it. Try it. Don't get disheartened when it doesn't happen in the first go, because chances are you're not reaching the right person, or chances are maybe you're not asking in the right way. That's all. But trust me when I say this, you will find your people, you will find your tribe. It took me a while, but I'm so glad that I found them, because now it's like, how do I say, it's like kindred souls, like we just get each other. And I know that even if I give my manuscript, which is like my baby, it's almost, I'm going to be like birthing my book, it's going to be in trusted hands. It's going to be in people that care about this. It's going to be people who relate to it. Ruth, not yet. Congratulations are in order. Like, I'm just in the process of editing my manuscript. It's still going to go to my beta readers and the editing and then the publishing. But yeah, I know, it's, even though your congratulations is premature, I wish it happens soon. So yeah, I mean, whatever is that project that you're working on, whatever is your little baby, just go for it. And I really hope that you also find your tribe, your people. And if you want to share whatever you're working, and you want to keep, us accountable, make sure you let me know in the comments, or you can DM me or PM me, whatever is that thing. And then we can keep each other accountable, because I think accountability and having companionship in this kind of, lonely journeys really matter, because now I know the pressure is on me. I have 10 people waiting to read that manuscript, and these are people who really care about it or who really want to read it. So now I'm like, oh my God, I have to bring in my A game. Like yesterday, I sat for like 3 hours straight trying, going ham on my editing, with the book, because now I'm answerable to people. Like, they're real people. It's not just some random people on the internet. So I think accountability really helps. If you're working on something, feel free to share with me what you're working. We can keep each other accountable. And yeah, it's honestly, the universe is listening when you put something out there with your heart. And it's like the universe saying not only yes, but the universe kind of says, we've been waiting for this kind of thing. So I hope you do put that thing out there. You find your people, and yeah, you get company on this journey. And if you do have any questions about, the messy middle that I'm sharing, if you want to know something, please feel free to ask me those questions. I'll try my best to answer them, because I'm also in the messy middle. I'm not sharing a curated ending, a beautiful ending, and saying that, hey, look, I did this. I'm like, you know what? I'm in a mess. I'm figuring this out, and this is what I've figured out so far. So I hope that gives you that kind of push, that kind of inspiration to, keep going for whatever you want to go for. And yeah, we're in this together. So thank you so much for being here. I will see you next Thursday with another live, with another Messy Middle series. And thank you so much for listening to all things about my beta readers. Actually, they're beautiful people. You'll know soon in the Monday Substack as well. So I'm doing a little thing for my beta readers in the Substack coming up on Monday. And yeah, so until next Thursday, keep creating. Stay creative, and thank you so much for joining today. It means so much. Thank you. Bye. See you next time.